Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Sussman, and I helped Ken do some of the classes for the CRC exam prep. I wanted to just introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what to expect and how best to study. I found that this red book here is the best option for you. There are plenty of other books out there, but this gives you the minimal amount of information that you're going to need, but it doesn't give it to all of the information. What is going to happen is that all of the information is going to come from your education, what you learned in your master's classes, what you learned in your practicum and internship. That's all going to be part of it. Sometimes the questions on the test don't match up to reality in your field, especially in states, because it varies from state to state. Some programs might be called job search, some might be called work search, and these are just things that I am pulling off the top of my head. That's not necessarily the truth. But what you need to be absolutely aware of is that you will not pass by studying the questions. You cannot, because it is not the question that is important. It is the content. What does it mean? Where does it come from? How can I connect it to? Or all the things you should be thinking about. It's like writing a story and they give you a question, and let's see how far through rehabilitation counseling ethics we can go with a question like there was that one case, and I can't remember the name of the gentleman that was stalking his girlfriend. And it was a precedent because they had no ethics back then to, call somebody and tell them that they should have done it. So why? Ask why the question is like that. What happened in order to make that? So what was the action that caused the reaction? I know you may think that this is not important, and why am I going on and on? I'm telling you this from personal experience. I personally have been out of grad school for 2 years. I hadn't cracked a book in 2 years to study. The first time I did was January 2023. I thought I knew what I was doing. I figured by July of 2023 that I'd pass, and I failed. I failed by 8 points, but that wasn't the issue. What was the issue is that I got lucky because a lot of the questions I was looking for the answer that matched them, not what it actually meant. So I could get a 90 on a practice test and I failed. I learned from July until October, when I took the test and passed, that what you need to do is you need to share information with other people. You need to meet weekly with other people. You need someone every week to take the lead and let them teach. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to be doing this, but I did this with the October test group, but not until the very end. And that's what I think helped me the most. I can't speak about anybody else, but it absolutely helped me the most to pass because I understood the question. I just didn't know the answer. So one of the things that I had done for myself during the first classes or study groups is that I wrote up a whole bunch of index cards on my own. And as you can see here, these are the index cards. Please excuse. Okay. And the reason why the question 2, question 4, these are from a test that was not in any book. Kennedy had emailed this to all of us in the first session, the first group, and these were the questions that I had gotten wrong. But they're good questions. These are your answers. It's one of these 4. And the way that you can work through these if you don't know the answer absolutely, is to try and figure out what does not make sense. Okay, so I just want to quickly go over a couple of these, and then I'm going to end up posting them in a folder for you. No answers. All right, your job is to find them. Okay, you need to read, Google it, use any book you might have from your master's program to get the answer. The more you read outside of the red book, the more information you will have. You need to add to the red book, not use it exclusively. And you don't need to exclusively use prep books either. There's a lot of great evidence-based information out there. Use it to your advantage. So let's start with the first one. The ONET is a computerized career system that is primarily based on which paper-based resource? So is it Holland's Career Exploration Guide? Does that make sense? Is that a resource that is a career system? Well, is it? What did Holland do? You've got to know what Holland did. Did Holland write or compile a career system? No, he didn't. He did personality. So we're going to cross this one out. We're down to 3 now. Is it the standard occupation classification? I don't know. Is it the Occupational Outlook Handbook? I don't know. Is it the Dictionary of Occupational Titles? I don't know. So these 3 here are possible answers. So if you don't know those answers, which one it is, you're not going to get it. So this is one you actually have to know and study, okay? Let's go on to this one here. It's a question about Holland theory. Now you can see how sometimes you're going to get the answer in another question. And if you remember it well enough, or if you flagged anything, or you go through it in when you review it, you can make that change. So this question number 6, is which category does Holland's theory of vocational choice fall under? Okay, so these are your choices here. Now, once again, you're going to have to understand what these are. This is where all the problems are coming in, is not understanding. Is it a social learning theory? Well, what does Holland talk about? Is it a developmental theory? Well, what is a developmental theory? Can anybody, name a couple of developmental theories? Well, a developmental theory is when you're growing. So when you're growing, I think of Erickson. I think of Piaget. I think of Freud. They all have to do with how they develop. I don't think of Holland. When I think of Holland, I think of a personality test. So, trait and factor theory. Let's take a look at that. What is trait and factor theory? Well, a trait is what? A trait is something that you're born with. It's part of your personality. It doesn't change. Another word could be innate. And then a factor. Well, what is the factor that relates to the trait? Example, you enjoy working with people. Okay, so what factor would enhance, would make it better? Would it be working in a warehouse alone? Would it be working as a customer service agent? Would it be working in an office? Which one do you think would be a factor towards the trait that would enhance a career? Now, Holland's theory of vocational choice should be trait and factor, and here is why. Let's tear this apart, okay? Even if we know nothing, and then I will Google it and we'll see if we're right. Even if we know nothing about it, or just a little, we know that it's not a developmental theory. We absolutely know it's got nothing to do with how people develop, right? We figured that one out. It's not a social learning theory, okay? Because it's a vocational choice. It may be influenced by social learning theory, but it is not the theory of choice. Okay, social learning has a lot more to it than just choosing. It's influential, yes, but it's not what is going to make the choice valid. None of the above. We know that's not true. That's a filler. Sometimes that's the answer, sometimes it's not. Now, trait and factor theory. Let's go see if that's the right one. So I'm going to copy. And there you go. Copy. And then I'm going to hit my Google. And I'm going to paste. Yeah, I know you can't see it, but I can. And let me see. Well, I have the opposite, but I don't have. Wait, let me go back. Oh, I often do this. I get lost. That's my ADHD. Theory, Holland theory. Here we go. Okay, vocational personality type, and it would be considered, let's see. I'm trying to read as fast as I can. All right. Okay. The Holland theory, personality type, works to create environment that fits and rewards their type. Theory of character, developmental evolution and status of Holland. Do you believe? I'm reading all of these reviews, and they're talking about what a trait is, but they're not saying that it's a trait. So let me just go National Career Development Association. I'm reading this. All right, I'm going to actually stop sharing my other screen, and I'm going to share this one with you. Yes, that's my avatar. So I Googled what was, Holland's theory of trait and factor. And this was one thing that I came up to. All right. So it looks like it's OLNet profiler. Yeah, they talk about how OLNet is actual Holland theory, career theory of Holland. You see how this information is different, but yet it doesn't mean that it's inaccurate or you cannot use it. Of course you can use it. Holland's first concept. So this would be something I would use. I'm not going to really list it. Has anybody ever done the Holland test on ONET? If not, I suggest you do it. Sometimes I'm going to tell you that the ONET is not going to get you dead on because as you grow, so does your preference and your things change. So let me just, all right, guys, hold on. We're going to go through this one more time. All right. Is Holland theory, sorry, you see my spelling? A trait and factor. Let's see what it says. This trait and factor theory, here it is, right here. I don't know if you could see it or not, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, let me see, stop share. Now I'm going to share this screen right here. Okay, so now you see this? There's your answer. It is a trait and factor theory. Right here, it says it. So we were right. Now, just because I got it right, I kind of guessed, right? I couldn't really figure it out, but I knew what it wasn't, and that's important. Just an FYI, this is on, you need to know this, okay? If you don't know this, you could get some of the questions confused because it's used as one of the possible answers, and it could confuse you. Okay, let's go back to my, sorry, because it wasn't supposed to be a lesson. It was supposed to be a demonstration on how the questions are. So we know that this is the answer. Okay. And these are the only two I want to go over. This one you absolutely had to know. Okay. This was a had to know one. All right. This one was a elimination one. We tried to figure out what it was not, and that's how we figured out what it was. Now, of course, when you're taking the test, you're not going to be able to Google anything, but the information that you can Google it is when you don't know, or when you say, okay, this is the answer that I've gotten. And like I just did, or we just did together, I learned more than just the answer. I learned why. Okay, I learned it showed me other factors. Okay, it told me that it was connected to ONET, that the ONET exam test is Holland theory. Does it say anything about that here? No, it doesn't. So that is an additional information. This is going to connect this to this. If you know what this is about and you know the components, then you're going to know what kind of theory, and vice versa. I'm going to stop sharing now. So that's basically my introduction to taking the test, or the things that you're going to need, and your understanding and how you should study and learn to take the test, because you cannot study questions and answers. You need to learn. You need to connect, just like we did with Onet and Holland. I'm going to email us below, and of course, hit like and subscribe. And if you email us and you want the other cards, because I have quite a few of them to test yourself with, I'll send them to you. But I can tell you this: if you purchased the cards from CRC or Momatrix, they're basically the same. So I wouldn't kill myself over the actual questions. So you could use what you have. All right. So thanks, everybody. And thank you, Ken, for allowing me to share my knowledge. And I hope to speak to everyone soon, and have a great day.